Is renting a house cheaper than buying? Well, before you decide to buy or rent a home, let's do the math. Let's first talk about the cost of owning a home. Most people are looking at what they're paying in rent and they're like, you know what? Owning a home is just a little bit more than what we're paying in rent. You can also think that renting a home is just an automatic waste when you can just own the home and develop equity and have it paid off in 30 years. However, the actual cost of ownership is much more than the mortgage itself. Instead, there is property taxes, insurance, and the repairs that you're going to be paying over the years of ownership. This doesn't even take into account of the down payment that you're tying up in the property instead of investing it elsewhere. For example, let's just say that you're buying a $500,000 home and you're going to put 20% down. That will equal $100,000. But what is your monthly mortgage payment? Well, it's different for everyone, but let's just say you did a 30-year loan at 4.5%. That equals $2,000 a month. Then you have property taxes, and here in California, that's usually 1.25% of the purchase price, which comes out to be $520 a month. You also have insurance just in case your house burns down. That equals $150 a month. And finally, you have repairs to maintain the property. And let's just say it's gonna cost you $200 a month to maintain your property. This brings your total cost of ownership each month to $2,870, and you bought a $500,000 home and you put 20% down. That equals $100,000 in down payment. And in 30 years, you will own that home outright. But here's the kicker. The average person lives in their home for 7 years, and at a 3% growth rate, your home is gonna be worth, after 7 years, $614,000. But when you go sell your property, you're gonna have to pay for a 6% commission and some closing costs. This means that you're gonna net $577,000 after you pay closing costs and the 6% commission. And your loan amount will be $348,000, and after the course of 7 years, your out-of-pocket loss will be $142,000. This also works out to be $20,286 per year, or $1,690 per month for the cost of ownership. Now let's talk about the cost of renting. Like I said before, your total monthly mortgage on a $500,000 home will be $2,870 per month, and you cannot forget the $100,000 down payment. Yes, it's true that you're gonna get a lot of that money back in the form of tax benefits and paying down the loan over the years and the appreciation when you sell the home. Now, before I get into how much it costs to rent a home, I want you to know that it's different all around the United States, and you should be able to rent a $500,000 home for $2,800 per month. Now, the advantages of renting would be that it will grant you the mobility to pick up and leave when you please after the lease is up, and also to keep in mind, you wouldn't have to maintain that property and do repairs. That's your landlord's job. And finally, a key factor to keep in mind, you remember that $100,000 down payment that you would have put on the home that you would be living in for numerous years? Well, now you can invest that money into like stocks or an investment property that you can rent out that will make you money a lot faster. But in terms of out-of-pocket costs for a period of 7 years, renting is gonna cost you a lot more money. It will cost you $192,000 to rent compared to owning a home for 7 years that will cost you $142,000. This means that renting a home will cost you $54,000 more compared to owning a home. So in the long-term scenario, renting a home is more expensive than owning. Also, in this scenario, I didn't take an account of rent increase, which is up to 3% each year. So generally speaking, if you're planning to live in your home for the long term, it's always the best, cheaper route to go. When you buy a home, it really means that you're just locking in the rate of what you're gonna pay each month on that home for 30 years or less. You will also receive all the tax advantages of owning a home. Also, you will build equity throughout the years in an appreciating asset. However, when you're buying a home, you're tying yourself down to that property, and you have to keep in mind the down payment of what you put on that home. You're tying that money up as well. And if you're looking to sell this home within 1 to 2 years, you are at the mercy of the market, and you might be taking a loss on that property. So hopefully that market is booming and you might come out with a little bit of profit. Now, determining which one is cheaper, it really depends on how long you've owned or rent that home. So it really depends on your individual situation that will determine what's best for you. With that being said, what I prefer for my buyers to do, and what I do as well, is to buy a home that just needs a little bit of fixing, and then you're gonna develop equity within that home, live in that property for a few years, then you're gonna find another home to move on to, and then you're gonna rent out the first home, and you're gonna do the exact same thing to your second home, renovate it, build equity, live in it for a few years, and then you're gonna build a real estate portfolio of rental properties that is gonna make you money and cash flow positive. When you're sleeping, you are making money. That is my #1 pro tip and my biggest advice for any first-time home buyer that is looking to live in a property and also be an investor in the future. If this information was helpful, like this video and make sure to comment down below if you have any questions that you want to ask me, and I will make sure that I answer it ASAP for you. And I'm just here to provide as much knowledge to you as possible to make the best decision for yourself. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel and also share my channel with your friends that may need help learning about real estate.